Good morning, Munsey Park School. Today is Friday and it is time for our morning announcements. Are we ready, Thomas?
Munsey Park School. Today is Friday, June 5th. My name is Rohan Madulik and I am from Miss Saloy's 3rd grade class. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. We will now hear some important announcements from Mr. Norman.
Thank you very much, Rehan. Good morning, boys and girls, teachers and staff. Happy Friday to you all. We want to take a moment to give a quick shout out to those boys and girls who participated in yesterday's Flipgrid Challenge. And they are Teresa P., Malini S., Mary P., Julia P., Ria K., Sienna P., Grace M., Benjamin J., Alec M., Sophia P., Talia M., and Olivia P. Thank you for sharing your rainforest animals with us on Flipgrid. Boys and girls, today is National Gingerbread Day. It is also National Veggie Burger Day. And finally, National Donut Day. Happy National Donut Day. We have our morning words of the day from our morning mantra book, and they are as follows. The beautiful thing about learning is nobody can take it away from you. Words to live by. I want to wish everyone a great learning day, an amazing weekend, and don't forget to show your amazing character in your words, your actions, your attitude, and don't forget to show your 3 R's, respectful, responsible, role model. Make it a great one. Have a great weekend. Let the day begin. And we are ready for a story. Yeah. So the story that we selected today is called Hedgie Blasts Off by Jan Brett. And when we were thinking about a story, we thought about maybe the astronauts who just went into space recently on SpaceX and the Falcon 9. And we thought this was a very appropriate text for this week. So here we go. Hedgie Blasts Off. My name is Hedgie, and I want to be an astronaut. I work at Star Lab on the cleanup crew. I've never flown on a spaceship, but I take care of the Zeppelin rocket for the professor, the smartest scientist on Earth. He's in charge of outer space. Today, when I got to work, the professor looked worried. Hedgie, we have a problem, he said. Big Sparkler is only sending up weak bursts of sparkles. If it stops altogether, there will be no more Big Sparkler and no more flowers. Big Sparkler is on the tiny planet of Mikop. Alien tourists love to fly over it, to watch it erupt, and to take pictures of the strange flowers that depend on the sparklers for food. This is an emergency, Hedgie. Call the scientists to the lab. So the scientists are studying outer space. The scientists came in and the professor explained the problem. Big Sparkler is failing, he told them. We need to go to Mikop and find out what's wrong. I'd fly there in the Zeppelin, but it's too big to land on tiny Mikop. We need to build a rescue robot and a small rocket to go there. The scientists looked at the drawings on the blackboard and went to work. I tried to help. Soon everything was ready for the launch. Reporters came to hear about the mission. The professor explained, Big Sparkler isn't working properly, he said. First, let me show you how it is supposed to work. He put a cork in a bottle of fizzy water. Pretend this is Big Sparkler. He shook it and shook the bottle until the cork flew out and the water soaked the reporters. But now Big Sparkler is sending up fewer and fewer sparkles. We think it may stop altogether, the professor said. How can you find out what is going on? A reporter asked. Meet Rescue Robot, the professor answered. He threw open the hatch to the rocket. The pilot's seat was empty. We looked all around the lab. No robot. Then I opened the door to the cleanup crew closet. There he was, in sleeper mode. Spikes jammed fast. Rescue Robot had probed too soon, gotten stuck, and crashed. The reporters looked at the professor. The professor looked at me and at Rescue Robot. Then he whispered in my ear, Hedgie, you're the only one who will fit into the rocket. How would you like to go to outer space? I nodded my head. Yes! The professor turned to the reporters. A little change of plans, he told them. Meet Rescue Hedgie. No programming necessary. The professor looked at me. Come back and tell us what you find, Hedgie, and we will fix the problem. The tiny planet Mikop got larger and larger before my eyes. The engines roared as the rocket settled onto Mikop's surface. I climbed out of the rocket. I climbed out of the hatch. Big Sparkler's crater was in front of me. The flowers circling it had turned into little gray puffballs. Suddenly, I was startled by a low-flying saucer. It buzzed down just as Big Sparkler struggled to erupt. A thin stream of glittery sparkles sifted through the air and dusted the passing ship. The tourists inside shrieked and threw things out of their portholes and into the crater. More squeals. Then I saw what was falling into the crater. Coins! I walked over and looked down. So that's what's wrong. Too many coins from all over the galaxy were filling up Big Sparkler. It needed to be cleaned out. I wanted to fix Big Sparkler for the professor before going home. But how could I drag all those years of coins out of the crater? It was impossible for one small hedgehog. Then I remembered the bottle of fizzy water and the cork. What if I became the cork for Big Sparkler? One small hedgehog might just be perfect for the job. I took a big jump before I was too scared. I landed in the opening and puffed up my prickles to stop it completely. I told myself, just hold fast with every prickle. I felt Big Sparkler pushing against me. The more it pushed, the tighter I held on. Hold fast, hold fast, hold fast. Kaboom! Count to 3 and lift up. Whoa. Whoa, look. Whoa. Big Sparkler erupted with a tremendous roar. I flew up and landed in a soft pile of sparkles. Giant flowers came alive right before my eyes. I raced back to the rocket and took off for home. I was making a victory orbit around Mikop when I saw the alien tourists. They were squealing with joy. Instead of throwing good luck coins into Big Sparkler, they were trying to catch them flying through space. I hope it takes years for them to collect all those coins. Back at Star Lab, I was in for another surprise. I stood beside the professor as he said a few words to the reporters. Please meet our first hedgehog astronaut. The scientists at Star Lab proudly present Hedgie with the official astronaut star for his courage and cool thinking. I was an astronaut. The professor went on. Star Lab is grateful to everyone who worked to save Mikop and Big Sparkler. From astronaut first class Hedgie to our new high-tech cleanup crew. 3 cheers for Hedgie. Hooray. And that is the end of Hedgie Blasts Off. So it leads us to our Flipgrid challenge, and it again ties back to the astronauts that flew up to the International Space Station. So here's what I'd like you to do today and over the weekend. Let's write a letter to those astronauts that flew to the space station. And in your letter, let's be sure to ask them some questions. I'd love to hear what you have to say. So you can do that, and then you can share your letter with us on Flipgrid, and the code is Munsey Park. Thomas and I want to wish you a great weekend. Let the day begin.